This is some of the last remaining things to be put away. Today is the feast of Blessed Alozigi, Alozigi Stepanek. Raised in a large Catholic Croatian family, graduated high school in 1916, became a soldier in the Austrian army in World War One, fighting at several points in Italy. Following the collapse of the front, he was imprisoned and then demobilized in December 1918. Studied briefly at the Faculty of Agriculture, but returned to work at home. He considered marriage, but realized the call of the priesthood. Began his studies in 1924. This is a lot. This man did a lot. Ordained in October 1930, parish priest in the Archdiocese of Zagreb. He worked especially in the poor neighborhoods and established Archdiocesan Caritas in November 1931. Named coadjutor archbishop 1934 by Pope Pius XI. Created 12 new parishes, had established close ties with lay associations and youth groups, promoted the Catholic press, and helped protect the rights of the church from the Yugoslavian state. He succeeded the archbishop in 1937. In 1936, in the rise of Nazism, prompted Stepanek to support a committee helping people fleeing the Reich. He instituted the Action for Assistance to Jewish Refugees in 1938. This period galvanized him as a stout defender of human rights, regardless of race, religion, nationality, ethnic group, or social class. A fight he would continue the rest of his days. During the war, he hid countless people, mainly Jews, in monasteries and other church property, some remaining there the entire time of the war. Following the Archbishop's release, how did I do that? 1945, Yugoslavia had replaced the oppression of the Nazis with the oppression of the communists. A biographer wrote of Stepanek, he treated the new authorities in accordance with the gospel, end quote. But he fought for the rights of the church and the interest of Croatians. After publishing a letter denouncing the execution of priests by communist militants, he was arrested for the first time. Following the Archbishop's release, Yugoslavia's new leader, Tito, we all know him as Tito, tried to persuade him to have the Catholic Church in Croatia break from Rome. The bishops issued a letter. Yugoslavia's bishops issued a letter in which they referred to the promises made and broken by the Belgrade government to respect the freedom of conscience, freedom of religion, and private ownership. The bishops demanded freedom for the Catholic press, Catholic schools, religious instruction, Catholic associations, and, quote, full freedom of the human person and his inviolable rights, full respect for Christian marriage, and a restitution of all confiscated properties and institutions, end quote. State-run media launched an attack on the church in general and on the Archbishop by name. Stepanek was tried in September 1946 for defending the unity of the Catholic Church in Croatia and its unity with Rome. The Pope objected to the show trial, and members of the Jewish community protested. They said, this great man has been accused of being a collaborator with Nazis. We Jews deny this. Aljoze Stepanek was one of the few men in Europe, this is quote, who raised his voice against the Nazi tyranny precisely at the time when it was the most dangerous to do so, end quote. On October 11, 1946, he was sentenced to 16 years of hard labor. At that point, he was almost 50 years old. and the loss of his civil rights, such as they were. In 1951, due to ill health, the authorities were forced to move him from prison to house arrest. There he performed priestly functions, received visitors, and wrote more than 5,000 letters, none of which show the slightest resentment towards those who persecuted him. He was created cardinal in 1953. Pope Pius XII called him an example of apostolic zeal and Christian strength to the reward. Okay, wait, that's much too long. Especially to honor and comfort to our sons and daughters who resolutely confess the Catholic faith despite these difficult times. End quote. I messed up that quote a little. This was apparently too much for the Yugoslav government, who promptly broke off relations with Rome. Stepanek, however, retained his position, bishop or cardinal, maintained his stance against the bullying government until his death, which may have been a murder to eliminate an annoyance to the government. Stepanek was born in 1898 and died in 1960, suffering from leg issues and what looks like bronchial issues. But he may have been poisoned, because when they did a beatification examination of his bones, they found arsenic. So probably, as often has happened, is not unusual. The communist government or the Nazis would do those kind of things. They would often use arsenic to poison people. So let's ask Blessed Aloj Zije Stepanek to pray for us. All the saints pray for us. Pray for the souls of purgatory. Mother Mary, pray for us.